Welcome to Grenfell Campus Virtual Resource Fair 2020. My name is Diane Johnson. I'm a Student Affairs Officer in the Learning Center with Grenfell Campus, and I'll be your host this afternoon. Today we'll have multiple speakers who will provide information on various resources Grenfell Campus has to offer. For your information, this session is being recorded for post-event viewing. And if anybody wants to, it'll be on the YouTube channel if you want to view it afterwards. During the event, feel free to ask questions. And if you don't want to speak up, you can type in your question to the chat feature that will be monitored throughout the session by Abby. And so she can ask your questions for you. At the end of the session, we'll be drawing for a Acer Chromebook and case, compliments of ITS. So that'll be done during the last presentation. So that'll be something to look forward to. And is everybody's mics okay and sound okay?
Thank you so
much. Okay, then we'll get, without further ado, we'll get started. Our first presenter is Shauna Matthews from the Registrar's Office, dealing with academic advising. Thank you, Shauna.
So can everyone hear me? Perfect. So my name is Shauna Matthews, and I work in the Registrar's Office, specifically in the area of academic advising. And so for students who are not aware what advising is a process that starts typically before you even start university and takes you right through to graduation. And so what we do is we help students ensure that they're doing not only the right courses for their program, but ensuring that their program is the right fit for them. We work to ensure that they understand the right course load. So some students do 5 courses a semester, some students might do 3 or 2, depending on what other circumstances they have going on in their life. We help students with understanding academic regulations and rules. So there's a lot of rules within the university that will be very different from what students are used to in high school. And so we work to ensure that students understand those rules and how they impact you. So most of you may be aware that on Tuesday, September 8th, there's actually an academic advising group session for all new students. It's going to be a virtual session. I'll be hosting it. And so I'll go into much more detail than what I will now in my 3 or 4 minutes that I have to speak. But it'll be about an hour-long session where we go through everything from the difference between a major and a minor, who your advisor is, what's a GPA, important dates in the semester, all of those important things that you really should be aware of. We're going to have a session on Tuesday about that. The other thing I wanted to mention was the supports through the Registrar's Office. So the Registrar's Office can provide students, if you have any questions about your course registration, completion of your degree, the requirements for your degree, those types of things, you can get in contact with us. Now, it's a little bit challenging sometimes with everybody working virtually to know how to reach out to people. The easiest way to reach the Registrar's Office or academic advising is to email info, so that's INFO, at grenfell.mun.ca. And I suspect most of you already have my email address in your inbox because I've sent out numerous emails already. So you can certainly email me or Derek Jackman. We do telephone appointments. We can do virtual appointments. We can do email advising. We are not doing in-person advising right now, but we're still there to support you in any way we can. The big important thing is to make sure that you're talking with your advisor. I can't tell you how many times I've had students come to me after the fact and say, a friend told me I should do this, and they sort of messed up their schedule, or they caused themselves some problems. Regulations and rules change. I'm not exaggerating, on a weekly basis at times. So it's really important that you're speaking to somebody within the Registrar's Office around your degree or your faculty members, and not necessarily just your friends, because they are certainly not immersed in it like we are. So reach out to us. We are here to help you. That's what we're here for. And Our goal is for you to be successful, and we're here to support you in that. So again, you can email info@grenfell.mun.ca. Thanks.
Thank you, Shauna. Next, we have Jennifer Buxton to talk to us about careers.
I'm just sharing my screen. Oops. Awesome. Can you see my screen and everything? We're all good?
Yes, I can see it. Yep.
Awesome. So yes, I'm Jennifer Buxton. I am with the Office of Engagement here at Grenfell Campus, and I'm here to talk about career services at Grenfell Campus and what's available to you. Career advising and career services is very different from academic advising. We focus very much more on resume building, cover letter help, career mapping, and things like that. So here's kind of some of the career services that are available at Grenfell Campus. So we offer on and off campus student job opportunities. So I share those with students when I'm told about on campus and off campus opportunities for students. We also offer resume and CV writing support. This can be done through a virtual meeting, or we can do this via email and we send feedback back to you via email. Cover letter writing support, the same thing. We also can help you with career planning. So we have some career mapping services that we can help you with. We can give you some advice on how to make the most out of your university experience. We also can offer you advice on how to build your network, because networking is incredibly important when it comes to career development. If you ever heard me talk about career development, I will talk about networking a lot because it's really about who you know. And we also offer career development events. Winter, we do offer a career expo, and usually we have career events during the week that talk about different aspects of that. And we're hoping to offer some virtual ones this fall. So how to access career services. So the best way to do so is to email careerlink@grenfell.mun.ca. You can send your resume or CV or cover letter and have it reviewed. You can request access to career cruising. So career cruising is a great online career mapping tool where you can select different things that you might be interested in, and it will give you a list of careers that would be well suited to that. It will also give you information about those careers, the career development within that, so promotions and how to start from the beginning to the end of that career, where you can get training for that career. And you can also book an appointment for a 30-minute video meeting for career services and career advising in any kind. So that's kind of what I want to say about career services. And that was nice and short and sweet, but you'll be hearing from me again during this presentation as well about the co-curricular record.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next, we have the coordinator of the Learning Center, Lorna Payne, to talk about their services.
I am also going to try to share a screen. Let's see if it works. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So the Learning Center is the academic support center for Grenfell Campus. What we try to do is we provide services that will support you as you are guiding yourself through and navigating through the courses that you've registered for. What I'd like to do is just identify some of the services that we have, but I'd like you to be aware that student services at grenfell.mun.ca is the easiest way to get in touch with us. If you send a message to that email, we will be, the people who need to get in touch with you based on whatever your question is, will get in touch with you immediately and provide you with the help that you need. The Learning Center has a number of employees. We have about 4 or 5 different full-time staff members and about 30 students who are working with us in a given semester. Most of those students have already been hired. Some of them are doing their training right now. So they're ready to go starting next week when you start your classes on Wednesday. One of the major services that we provide is instructional assistance. So we have a writing instructional assistant, a math instructional assistant, and we have a part-time writing instructional assistant specific to nursing school students hired with us at Grenfell Campus. They are appointment-based services, so you have to go underneath Grenfell's website. You'll see e-resources that's usually located across the top part of the website. If you click on that, you'll see My Grenfell. Under My Grenfell, you're going to get a number of calendars that will appear. 3 of the calendars that appear are instructional assistance calendars within the Learning Center. One will say writing, one will say math, and one will say writing Western Regional School of Nursing. What you do is you click on that, follow the directions, and you can make your writing appointment. The appointment, math or writing, can be virtual appointments, so you can actually meet with somebody in a Teams-based environment, or it can be a paper drop if it's a writing appointment. So once you make your appointment, you email your actual paper or your questions to our writing assistants, and they will get back to you through email. What we try to do is the time of your appointment is the time that your papers or your math appointment will occur. So once you make the appointment, you have to be prepared to meet with us or make sure that you've emailed your document to us. Added to the instructional assistance in the Learning Center, we also run disability services, and that's called ACES. I'm going to leave that alone because a little bit later on in this session, Brad Elliott is scheduled to speak to you, and Brad coordinates the services through our ACES, through our disability services. I'm just adding it here so you realize that we work as a team, and ACES falls underneath the Learning Center. 2 other programs that you're going to see advertised within your courses as you get your course syllabuses are our supplemental instruction and our peer tutoring programs. SI is a program where we've identified strong student leaders, and they have been putting courses that students often find difficult. If you are in an SI course, it will be identified to you right at the beginning of your course. It'll be listed in your Brightspace shell, or your instructor will have it in their course syllabus. You will be given directions on how to attend SI sessions. These are extra sessions that have been designed by leaders and by faculty members together, whereby we focus on course content and what you need to have in order to be able to be successful in that course. So what you need to know in order to be successful. We've also put some peer tutors in place in some of the chemistry courses, the physics courses, and the economics courses. The links to the tutoring times will all be there, and you just follow the links in order to connect with the tutors at the given times that they're working. Bring your questions to tutoring, and we'll answer your questions in a timely way within the time frame of the tutoring session. All of those services are free. All you have to do is mark them into your calendar and go to the links and log on to the sessions when they are actually going on. One of the things that we've been noticing also with students who come into Grenfell is that they talk about not being able to manage their time well, not being able to take notes, not understanding what is important. We call that study skills. And the Learning Center works closely with students when it comes to training. So if you're having trouble managing your time, understanding what's important in a course in terms of taking notes or understanding what the textbook is saying, get in touch with us. Another area might be test taking strategies or test anxiety. If you are experiencing troubles in those areas, get in touch and we'll work with you and help you kind of develop strategies and ways to approach different issues or problems in these areas so that it'll make it easier for you while you're here. Throughout the course of the semester, you're going to see notices go out about scholarships that you might be able to apply for. Those will come from the Learning Center. Take note of what all the regulations are, and if you're eligible to apply, make sure you make your application by the deadlines that are listed. If you are looking for student employment, our MUSEP employment program will be advertising jobs that will be available. These jobs will all be available remotely or virtually over the course of the fall semester. We advertise those through our Career Services Office. So that's what Jennifer Buxton, she just presented before me. And the Learning Center is also responsible for orientation. So this event, as well as the bingo event yesterday and the family orientation check-in that's scheduled for tomorrow, these are all the types of orientation sessions that we've put together to hopefully make this transition into the university setting, as well as the transition into remote learning, a little bit easier and a little bit less stressful for you. So if you have questions and you have concerns around orientation or even the transitioning into the university setting, please feel free to get in touch with us. Again, the best way to get in touch is through studentservices@grenfell.mon.ca. And besides that, in order to ensure that you know everything that we're doing at the Learning Center in a given week, please like us on Facebook. So if you go into the search engine on Facebook and you search Grenfell Campus Learning Center, center is spelled C-E-N-T-R-E. Like us on Facebook, and we post there daily with all the different activities that are going on. Those are activities that you'll be able to join without having any cost to you, and they're all designed to make it so that your academics is a little bit easier for you. I think that's it for me, so I'll pass it back to you, Diane.
Thank you very much, Lorna. There was a question in the chat about the the address, and thank you, Brad, for typing it in for the participants we have with us today. And next is Crystal Rose from the FHL Library.
Hi, thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? Excellent. So my name is
Yes.
Crystal Rose. I'm one of the librarians at the Grenfell Library. We're known as the Ferris Hodgett Library. That's where the FHL came from that Diane mentioned. But you can also just call us the Grenfell Library. I'm going to attempt to share my screen as well. Let's see here. Here we go. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see that. Awesome. So I just wanted to show you the library website. So at the moment, we do have some staff working in the library, but the library isn't open right now to students. So I know I'm working with people across the university at the moment. We are currently, you might have heard on social media or maybe online, that we are working at Memorial towards finding some really great, quiet, on-campus study spaces for people who might be located in the Corner Brook or St. John's area. Some of those study spaces may end up being located in the library, some of them may not. And we're just finishing up all the planning around that, and you're probably going to hear some announcements and information about that really soon. But in the meantime, because a lot of you aren't in the Corner Brook or St. John's area and we aren't open to students at the moment, you're going to become real familiar with the library website. So we're linked on the Grenfell homepage. Even if you just Google Memorial Libraries or Grenfell Libraries, you'll find us really easy. You've got a little icon chat. So we have librarians monitoring our online chat. When the semester begins, you're going to be able to chat with us online 7 days a week, evenings and weekends. So that's a really great thing to know if you're having trouble, if you're not sure how to find something. There's someone there at the library that you can chat live with at any time, basically. We have a lot of online resources. So we have literally hundreds of thousands of ebooks and streaming video and online journal articles. So even if you're not physically here with us, if you go to our website and you use our one search, you can search through all of our online content. And there's quite a bit of that. So you should be able to find a lot of materials online through the library for your assignments. I'll point out under popular links, we've got our e-reserves course resources. You're going to use those a lot. So your instructors are going to place things like journal articles or book chapters, videos, all sorts of things on reserve. And traditionally, those things would be on reserve in the library in print. We've gone completely digital, so we're calling them our e-reserves. You're going to be able to access all your course materials virtually, which is awesome. You may see links to the library e-reserves in some of your Brightspace shells for different classes, or your professor might give you a link. But if you have any of your courses that have things in e-reserves, you can also access them here through the library website. We also have our contactless pickup service. So if you are in the St. John's or Corner Brook area, you are able to come to any of the libraries and pick up material that's in print. So I know some students really still do like traditional print books over ebooks, or we might find something that is only available in print. And so if you did want to arrange a contactless pickup, you can still borrow material from the library. There's no limit on the number of books you can borrow, and we don't have any late fees. So that's a great resource if you're able to come to campus. If you're not able to come to campus, we do have a mail delivery service. So it is possible for us to mail items to students located in Canada. It may be quicker for me to work with you and try to find you an alternate online source, but we can mail things if we have to. And so if you're getting started on your research, if you've been given a research assignment and your instructor says, go find resources at the library, and you're like, I have no idea what to do, I don't know how to start, that's what I'm here for. So you can email me. I'm going to pop some email addresses into the chat box in just a moment. You can email the library or you can email me directly, and we're happy to answer any of your questions. You can also set up video chats with me by appointment, so I can get you started on your research. You're also probably going to see me in some of your classes too. So I come into classes usually in person when we're not teaching remotely, but this year I'm going to be doing some live presentations in some of your classes, or I might pre-record some material. So some of your instructors might say there's some material to watch from the library, and I'll be able to help you through some of the specific assignments you have in different courses and show you some of the resources we have online at the library that's going to help you with that. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. Here we go. And here are my email addresses. There we go. So we're library at grenfell.one.ca, which is really easy to remember. My direct email is CROSE, Crystal Rose, crose@grenfell.one.ca. So the emails are there. Please reach out to us at the library. Our job normally is to help students with anything they need. So we're still doing that. We're just doing it remotely right now. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat there. I think that's all for me.
I actually have a question that wasn't in the chat, just to make sure. Can we mail books between campuses? So if you need a book from Grenfell campus, but you're closer to, say, the Munn campus, are you able to do that?
Absolutely, yeah. When you go into our OneSearch, any item that you find, make sure you log in to OneSearch. You log in with your Munn login. And when you're logged in, you'll see a little link that says request. You can request any of the material at the St. John's campus. If any of you right now are located in St. John's and you want a Grenfell item, we can send it to St. John's. So we're still able to do that. If there's something that we don't have at our library, we have a service called document delivery. And so we can reach out to all of the other university libraries in Canada, and we can borrow articles and get them to scan book chapters and things like that. So if there's something you're not finding, we'll always be able to get it for you. We're also happy to make purchases for students. So if there's something that you need for a research assignment on a particular topic, and you know of a book that you'd like to read, but it's not in our collection, that's when you want to send me an email and I could buy it for you. So we're happy to take requests for purchase. And if you're not finding what you need, we can probably, if we can't buy it, we can borrow it from another library in Canada. So there's lots of ways to get you resources. So that was a great question, Abby. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have another question. Oh, did you already do it?
If we live closer to other universities, right. So we do have connections with them. One of the things we're working on right now is working with the other libraries in Atlantic Canada to be able to return items to any library, and we'll get them back to one another. We don't at the moment have what we call reciprocal borrowing. That's a fancy word. You don't necessarily have library privileges at, say, Dalhousie. That is not something that has been worked out at the moment, unfortunately. But we do share the material between one another. So if you have privileges with our library, we can get you things from other libraries. But at the moment, no. If you walked into, say, like U of T, University of Toronto, and said, "Hey, can I borrow books? I'm from Munn," the libraries have not worked that out. But that's an excellent idea. That's probably, if we're in this situation for a long time, that's something we might have to consider. Crystal, campus ID cards. Yes, that's a good point, Shauna. Normally you would come into the library the first week of school and we do all the campus IDs, and we have lots of fun activities for you to do. So this year, of course, you can't come into the library. A lot of you aren't even in Corner Brook. So if you do want your campus ID card, which is also your library card, what you want to do is go to the main website that is for all of Memorial University, and you submit a picture to them that you take yourself, and they print your ID and they're mailing it to everybody. So that's how we're doing campus ID cards. And those are also your library cards. So it's important to have one. You're going to need your campus ID card to write exams. So some people may be having some type of in-person exams, or however they're doing the exams this year remotely. You do usually need an ID card to write an exam. So we just had to do an emergency printing for a student who needed to write an exam and contacted me and said, I've lost my ID card. And we were able to reprint it and mail it to her, thank goodness. So, oh, thank you for the link. Excellent. Yeah. So we love having students come into the library and getting their IDs taken. That's usually a really exciting time of the year, but we're doing it a little differently this year. Good point. Any other questions at the library?
No, I think we're good. Thank you very much, Crystal.
Okay.
Next up is Counseling and Psychological Services and Health Services. We have Christy Curnew to speak with us for a few minutes today. Welcome, Christy.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Christy Curnew, and I'm the Administrative Assistant for Supporting Counseling and Psychological Services, also referred to as CPS. Students may request to book sessions at CPS for a various variety of reasons. Some students may have pre-existing mental health illnesses, and they would like support managing this throughout their university time. Or other students just may be experiencing unpleasant but normal emotions and reactions to life in general, and would like to speak to someone in a safe environment to discuss new coping strategies. So CPS has two clinicians, a psychologist, Dr. Veronica Hutchings, and a counselor, Jennifer Broadbent. Jennifer Broadbent's time is actually split half-time, and half of her time is exclusively for seeing nursing students with the Western Memorial Regional School of Nursing. And if you would like to book an appointment with either Jennifer or Dr. Hutchings, you can give our office a call at 709-637-7919. Again, that's 709-637-7919, or you can email us at healthservices@grenfell.mun.ca. And like most services at Grenfell this year, CPS is continuing to operate, but we are doing so virtually. And so that means that students will still have their sessions with one of our clinicians using WebEx video conferencing, something similar to what we're doing here today. When calling our office to book your appointment, though, and you do get our voicemail, it's very important that you please leave me a message and with your name, your telephone number, and who are you looking to book an appointment with. I will be checking messages daily, and I will call you back as soon as I can. However, for privacy reasons, if you do not leave me a message, I cannot return the call. Once we do make an appointment, I will then send you two forms that you will have to fill out. Make sure they're filled out correctly. All spaces are filled out according to what the clinicians are asking and sent back to me prior to your session time. If we do not receive those forms and they're not filled out correctly, unfortunately, we'll have to cancel the session. And also, we do request that if you do happen to have to cancel a booked appointment, that you could give us at least 24 hours in advance notice. There are numerous students that will be wanting to access our services, and we would like to be able to put some of those waiting people in the otherwise unused spot. So now I know sometimes that some of you may not feel comfortable contacting CPS for services, or you feel that you don't really need to talk to a professional about your issues that you may be having. You can also visit our website, which is grenfell.mun.ca/CPS/resources. There's a lot of useful information and great links there that you can explore on your own time. So again, it's very important to, if you would like to make an appointment with us, to call the number that I mentioned previous, which is 637-7919, and please leave a message and I will return your call. Thank you.
Okay, Abby, were you able to capture the phone number and the website?
Yep, I was going to ask for confirmation, but then, yeah, I think I got it. I've got 637-7919 for the number, healthservices@grenfell.mun.ca, and then grenfell.mun.ca/CPS/resources. Are those three correct?
Yeah, those are correct, Abby. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christy and Abby. Next, we have Ashley Canoe from the Sexual Harassment Office. She's actually with us today from St. John. So welcome, Ashley. Ashley, can you hear me? Ashley Canoe? I think we're having a technical issue.
I'll send her a message.
Just bear with us for one moment, please.
Maybe Diane go on with Jennifer, and then we'll come back to her.
Okay, we'll just.
Hi, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I really being up because everything was like loading and loading and loading. So I was like, something must be happening. So I apologize for that.
Okay, Ashley, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Diane. Hi, everyone. So my name is Ashley Canoe. I'm the Associate Sexual Harassment Advisor with the Sexual Harassment Office here at Memorial University. So first of all, I want to welcome all of you to Memorial. These are unprecedented times that we are living in right now. And I know a big part for me with the COVID-19 situation that's happening has been educating myself around ways to keep myself safe. And as new members of the university community, educating yourselves regarding the appropriate policies and procedures that govern you are also really, really important. And the sexual harassment and sexual assault policy and procedure is one of those that it's really important for you to familiarize yourselves with. Our policy and procedures available on our website at www.mun.ca/sexual harassment. And I encourage all of you to familiarize yourselves with the policy and procedure. Thank you so much, Abby, for linking that. The policy and procedure governs all members of the university community, students, faculty, staff, and it helps explain further what sexual harassment and sexual assault can look like. And that's probably one of the biggest questions that we get or comments that we get when we are speaking with individuals. I wasn't sure that this behavior constituted sexual harassment or sexual assault. So this is why I encourage you now as adult learners to inform and educate yourselves on our policy and procedure, as well as the other policy and procedures that govern you now as members of the university community. If you have questions or concerns, if there's something that you've experienced that you're not sure if it falls under our policy and procedure, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are fortunate enough to have an office located on the Grenfell campus. Our sexual harassment coordinator, Debbie Lindahl, will be returning to the office next week. She works on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday mornings and would be more than willing to connect with any of you virtually if you have questions or concerns. As most offices are working remotely, the sexual harassment office is still continuing to work remotely for the safety of everyone involved. But we can do phone calls, video chats to answer any of those questions and consult if you're unsure about something. The other thing I wanted to highlight is that we do have a website that has a wealth of information. So mun.ca/sexual harassment, as Abby's already linked, we have information regarding consent. Consent is probably one of the most important topics that we talk about, as well as what sexual harassment, sexual assault can look like. Bystander intervention is something that's really, really common now as well, in creating a shared responsibility on campus so that all of us recognize our responsibility in helping to prevent sexual harassment and sexual assault from occurring. So that's basically it for me. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email address directly is ahcrenew@mun.ca. And we are checking our voicemails and emails on the regular. And if there's anything we can do, just please let us know. And yeah, welcome to Memorial.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Just to let you know, I think, yes, Abby has that in the chat there, Ashley's email. Okay, next we have Jennifer Buxton talking about the co-curricular record.
Hello again. I'm just sharing my screen again. So I'm going to talk about the co-curricular record. This is very much an introduction to this and a little bit of a teaser, because as I'm sure at the end, it has not launched yet. The launch date for the co-curricular record is September 17th. So, but I'm going to give you a little brief overview of what a co-curricular record is. And I think someone's mic is not muted because I'm hearing myself back. There we go. And so I'm going to talk about that. So again, I'm Jen, and I'm with the Office of Engagement here at Grenfell Campus. And so what is a co-curricular record? Well, it's an official record of your activities that students participate in that complements your academic transcript. It allows you to track your skills and learning experiences outside the classroom. And these such experiences provide you with transferable skills, and they're mostly related to professional and personal development. So question I get a lot is like what the Grenfell co-curricular record is used for. So it's used for planning. It's a central location where you can see a wide variety of co-curricular opportunities available at Grenfell campus. It's for learning. So once you've completed an activity, you have the chance to log and reflect upon those transferable skills that you have developed. And it's also a recognition. So the CCR is an official record that will showcase your experiences at Grenfell campus. So it's not just about logging, but there's also that official recognition. So co-curricular versus extracurricular. This is a common question I get, and from students, it's hard to grasp what's the difference. So co-curricular and curricular activities both happen outside the co-curricular and extracurricular activities happen both outside the classroom. However, co-curricular activities tend to aid in personal and professional development, whereas an extracurricular activity are typically pursued for social and recreational reasons. So an example here is if you are a member of the Grenfell Campus Student Union, that would be a co-curricular activity because you're gaining certain transferable skills. That's very different than, for instance, if you're playing basketball with your friends. That's much more for social and recreational reasons. So that's the big difference there. So what are certain types of co-curricular activities? So we have lumped them into four different categories. So there's campus and community engagement. These would be volunteering, peer mentorship, or participating in a mentorship program yourself, or tutoring. There's experiential learning opportunities. And so these are opportunities that would be perhaps approved by a program, but not part of a course. They are for non-credit. It could be an international exchange as an example as well. That would be an experiential learning opportunity. There's also personal and professional development. So that would be workshops, conferences, so anything you're attending on campus that would help further your learning, perhaps, or if you're participating in a workshop that's giving you certain skills, those are part of the co-curricular activities, and also student-led initiatives. So these would be Grenfell Campus Student Union positions or Grenfell Campus Graduate Students Society, student-led workshops, or participation in other clubs and societies. So lots of the programs at Grenfell campus have a student society. Participation in those would also classify as a co-curricular activity. So what kinds of skills are you developing when you're doing a co-curricular activity? Because that's important to know. So I've listed here in the presentation all the different activities. So the first one we have is academic knowledge. So you're learning more about your area of study. This would be great if you're, for instance, being a research assistant for a professor and furthering your education and knowledge of that area. Creative thinking and problem solving. So you're able to practice your skills for problem solving, analyzing challenges and addressing those challenges. Social and civic responsibility. So you'll be responsible and engaged citizen, contributing to your community and society at large. These are great skills you can learn as participation in a community organization. Diversity, awareness, and intercultural understanding. You'll be mindful of different individual differences while promoting equity, fairness, and justice. Professionalism. You'll be productive, demonstrate responsible behavior, have ethical, moral, and intellectual integrity. Teamwork. Teamwork is developed through so many different things, but you're recognizing your strengths and skills while working with others and working towards a shared goal with a group. Communication will be effective. So we're looking for creating effective communicators, capable of active listening, presenting and persuading others with their own ideas, and providing constructive feedback. So it's not just about being able to communicate, but also being able to have a very effective two-way dialogue. Adaptability and resilience, so demonstrating self-awareness, the ability to reflect, and confidence when you face change or have to change something very quickly. Leadership and innovation, so taking initiative, recognizing and solving important problems, and helping others to solve problems. And then digital literacy is being familiar with current and new and evolving technologies, and being able to use all those different technologies to research, evaluate, create, and communicate. So those are kind of the skills. And as I mentioned, so the Grenfell Co-curricular record will be launching as part of Get Involved Grenfell Day on Thursday, September 17th. There'll be some more information coming out as we get closer to that. And on that day, there'll be a lot more information about how you use the co-curricular record, what types of activities are listed in the co-curricular record, and what you can do as a student and why it's important to get involved. So look out for that day and be prepared to get involved. I'll pass it back to Diane, unless I have questions.
Before you head out, we do have a question from George Campos. Would jobs on campus count as co-curricular?
Yes. Oh, you can still hear me. Yes, I'm assuming. Yes. Okay. Yes, they do count as jobs on campus. So if you're, for instance, a MUSIP position, as Lorna had mentioned, those would be, if it's like a job that's hiring at a very high pay level. So if it's going to be making you more than $1,500 or $2,000 a semester, that would not necessarily qualify because that would be considered more work experience in your resume. But a co-curricular activity like a MUSIP position would count towards it. Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Next, earlier in the Learning Center presentation by Lorna, she mentioned disability services and ACEs. Next, we have Brad Elliott, the Student Affairs Officer that looks after ACEs. Go ahead, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Before I get started, I just wanted to direct your attention to the chat. I just put a couple of things in there. One is a link to the FAQ section of the disability services page, as well as a link to the accessibility policies in that link as well. So both of those things are relevant to what I'm going to be talking about in this presentation. As well as a couple of email addresses. So my direct email as well as the student services email again, as these are the best ways to get in touch with me in case you do have any questions afterwards or you need to get in touch with me due to some sort of suspected or need due to some sort of exceptionality or disability. But as Diane mentioned, my name is Brad Elliott. I work in what we call Accessibility Center and Education Support, or ACEs. We see students who require some sort of accommodation due to an accessibility issue, which is related to an exceptionality or disability. So the best way to get in touch with me is via email, given the current situation with everything being online. And when you contact me, we go through the process of how you apply for accommodations as well as receive accommodations throughout the semester. So when we discussed, the first steps is to get any sort of documentation to me. Your documentation should come from, if you're a new student, it should likely come from your high school. If you did get accommodations when you were in high school, that should be able to transfer over to ACES. Either someone from the high school can send it on your behalf, but I think most of the time the high school will give you your documentation, and you will expect to forward that to me. I am asking that be sent directly to my email in a scanned copy if possible. However, if there are any challenges that come up with that, we can try to make alternate arrangements. So when it comes to any documentation, this documentation should come from, like I said, either a medical professional, whether it's a registered psychologist or your GP, or any sort of family doctor that you've been dealing with who has diagnosed you. And your documentation should outline any recommended accommodations that you need in order to demonstrate your knowledge of the materials when you go to school. Once I receive the documentation, or whether I receive it or not, we would do what we call an intake interview. Given the current circumstances, that intake interview will either be done over the phone or through a video conferencing, where we just discuss your situation as well as what other accommodations you require to give you the best opportunity of success, academic success when you're going to school at Grenfell. So what does academic accommodations include? This includes extra time for your exams due to whatever exceptionality disability you may have. So if the exam is regularly written in an hour, you would get an hour and a half, or whatever recommendations is based in your documentation. This can include use of a word processor for writing during an exam. This can include any sort of assistive technology that you require during an exam, such as screen reading software and things like that. If we were on campus, all your exams would be written in our ACES exam center. However, given the remote setup for this semester, all faculty will be responsible for ensuring that you get your exam accommodations. If they require my assistance, they will collaborate with me on that. But when it comes to any sort of accessibility issue outside of, say, exams, this could include things like getting alternate format textbooks or classroom materials. This can include getting copies of notes, lecture notes, either from a fellow student or from your professor, if that's required. This can include any sort of leniency for your assignment due dates, as well as any use of any assistive technology, transcription of lectures and things like that, or audio recording of lectures. Just keep in mind that this can be for any sort of permanent disability or exceptionality, and it can also cover temporary disability. So if you do suffer an injury during the semester and for whatever reason this affects your ability to complete your coursework, some sort of documentation can be submitted to ACES, and we can set up accommodations for that as well. Just please ensure that any documentation that recommends any accommodations, please keep in mind that it must be considered a reasonable accommodation. So if it does conflict with the integrity of the course for whatever reason, some sort of alternate arrangement may be made compared to what may be in the documentation, if that's the case. Finally, there's a process around grants. So whether you're a domestic student or a student in one of the other from one of the other provinces, there's typically a provincial student aid process where you can apply for grant funding through your provincial government. If you're approved for a student loan and you can apply for this grant funding. I would play a role in that by helping you fill out the application. Grant funding usually can cover costs of things like tutoring, getting a note taker for your class if required. It can also include any sort of adaptive or assistive technology, which could be something very advanced, such as screen reading software or some sort of hardware that helps you complete your courses. It can also include just getting a new laptop if you require a new laptop for your studies. Once again, my contact information is in the chat, as well as just a lot of this information I covered today is also in the FAQ section in that link. So I would suggest click on the link, reviewing those FAQs, review the accessibility policy that's in the link, as well as if you have any questions, make sure to get in contact with me via my email listed in the chat as well. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brad.
There is
yes,
a question. Oh, sorry. There is a question from Shauna Grace Biles, which says, sorry if I said your name wrong. What if you don't need exceptions, but you do need coping methods? Coping methods? I'm assuming it's coping methods.
I'm saying it's coping methods.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Right.
So if you want to have a chat, if you want to get in touch with me, we can discuss that. But normally, you may want to make an appointment with either CPS to discuss. Veronica, who's on the chat with us, can help with that as well if you want to make an appointment with her. When it comes to things like time management and things like that, usually the Learning Center does occasionally offer some assistance with it as well. So that's a couple of places you can go to for assistance with that.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Veronica, I see you there. You're on the list. Next, we have the International Student Services, and we have Janice Galliot. Go ahead, Janice. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Diane, for the introduction. So my name is Janice Galliot, and I work in student services. And I'm going to talk about two things today, if that's okay. I just wanted to give a little update about our health services area. Of course, this is a very different year for many of us. And so I don't have any real updates at the moment, but soon as we do, we'll certainly post them through email or on our website, okay? But Christy did give the email address already. It's healthservices@grenfell.mun.ca, as well as the phone number 637-7919. And anything that I'm about to say, Lorna had mentioned an email address, as did Brad. If you're not sure where to go for any of these resources, student services at grenfell.mun.ca is definitely a really good resource. So today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about international student services support. So if you are an international student, I would suggest that you connect with us through our international email address, which I actually have posted that I will. Oh, sorry for that. I just muted myself. So I'll post that in the group. But basically, as an international student, if you have any questions about your foreign health insurance, you certainly should connect with us. As well as there is an information session about the foreign health insurance, which is Guard Me. That's going to be happening tomorrow, September 3rd at 12:30 Newfoundland time through Brightspace. So that link will be shared to this group if you would like. So that's, once again, just for international students about the foreign health insurance. Because it's really important, because if you are outside of the country and you will have to opt out, and you only have a certain time frame in which to do that, which is September 1st to September 23rd. So once again, just for international students. So please connect with us so then that way we can provide that information to you. I also wanted to mention, as an international student, if you do need to speak with an immigration advisor about anything such as like study permits, certainly email us to book an appointment with an immigration advisor, and we will set that up for you. So anytime you want to connect with us from an international student support perspective, you can certainly email us. We also have an international student Brightspace shell, which we have the information posted in the International Student Services tab on the orientation website. We have a Facebook group, as well as we now have an Instagram account. So lots of ways to connect with us. So that's pretty much all the information that I had for you, but we are working remotely, but we're checking our voicemails, checking our emails. We're offering sessions virtually as best as what we can for international students. So certainly, connect with us. So if anyone has any questions, they can certainly email me through any of those websites or any web addresses. Thank you.
Abby, could you add that international email address, or Janice?
Which one was that again? International, was it international students at Grenfell?
No, it's just international@grenfell.mon.ca.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just making sure I take note of everything so I can put it on the Facebook later. I'm not sure if the chat will be recorded with everything, so I want to make sure like I have it all.
Yes.
People can access it.
Thanks so much.
Yes, this session with all the questions and stuff is recorded for post-event viewing. Next, we have Nicole Miller talking about student exchange.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Diane. So my name is Nicole Miller, and I am the exchange coordinator at Grenfell campus. So my job is to help our Grenfell students go away for a semester or two as a part of a recognized exchange program, and also welcome students from our partner institutions to Grenfell for a semester or two on exchange. So I know, especially in light of everything going on in the world right now, it probably seems like a really weird time to even think about exchange or to consider it. And I'm absolutely mindful of that travel, let alone international travel, is probably the last thing on many people's minds right now. However, despite all of that, it actually is a good time to start thinking about exchange, because we do recommend that you start planning, or at least thinking about it, about a year before you even go away. So as first year new students, it actually is an appropriate time to start thinking about things, even though, again, I know the thought of travel is probably so far from everybody's minds right now, but a great time to start thinking and planning. So with exchange, we do have about 300 different opportunities for you worldwide. So a lot of different choices all over the world with our different partner universities. And for you to be eligible to go on exchange, you need to complete at least 10 Grenfell courses. So if you're doing 5 this fall and you plan to do 5 again in the winter, you would be eligible for exchange next fall. And you also need to have a 2.5 or higher GPA. So I know that probably means nothing to you right now, but a 2.5 is about a high 60, low 70 average. So when you're starting your studies with us and you're starting to get assignments and tests back, if you're keeping around about in that range with all of your courses, you will be eligible for exchange. So the way exchange works at Grenfell, like I said, we do work with our different partner universities around the world. So you will get to go to one of our host university campuses, you will take courses there, and they'll all transfer back to your Grenfell degree program. So you're taking time out of your studies to an extent, but it's all going to transfer back to Grenfell, so you don't really have to worry about missing any time of your degree. You're just going to be maybe missing your friends and family for a little bit of time, but it's really, really good for personal growth to do that, so don't worry too much about missing anybody. Also, a huge benefit of exchange with Grenfell is you're always going to continue to pay Grenfell tuition. So whatever tuition rate you are paying, whether it is Newfoundland, Canadian, or international, you continue to pay that to Grenfell campus. So it really is a cost savings way of traveling internationally, because you don't have to worry about any of that international tuition. For a lot of students, the big difference is the cost of a plane ticket. So when you really boil it down at the end of the day, the cost that it's going to take you to go on exchange is really, really not extreme at all. But the skills that you gain as a result of that experience are immeasurable, and they're going to stick with you for life. So I know Jennifer was talking about the co-curricular record and a lot of the skills that you can gain from taking part of that program. Same thing, a lot of the skills that you're going to earn on exchange and gain on exchange are transferable to so many things throughout your life. So it's definitely something to start considering. Again, I know it's a weird time to start thinking about that, but when all of the restrictions are lifted, maybe people want to go a bit nuts and go as far away as they possibly can. So don't pause your studies and go on exchange and have that all in one, have a great trip and keep your studies going at the same time. So like many people have said throughout this chat so far, my services are staying remote for this semester, but I'm happy to have phone calls or video meetings to discuss anything. No question is too small. If you do want to set up an appointment with me and in the end you choose exchange is not the thing for you to do, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to come hunting you down. Just talking to me doesn't mean you're committing to anything. So please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns that you have. I'm happy to have those conversations with you. I want more and more Grenfell students to be able to experience what exchange can bring for them and to them. So at the very least, just consider it. If it's not for you, talk to your friends about it. Talk to anybody you know, let them know that this program exists. I'm going to pop my email as well as my website in the chat. So with our website, I encourage you to have a look at that, because we do have some videos there from some of our past students who have gone gone on exchange. It'll give you a little bit of insight as to what those students experienced, why they went away, where they went. So hearing it from a student rather than somebody who hasn't been a student for quite a while is also maybe something that will sway you a little bit in the way of looking at exchange. So if anybody has any questions now, I'm happy to answer them, but also happy to answer anything over email or video or phone call anytime. Thanks all.
Thank you, Nicole. I see Veronica Hutchings is here with us now. So if you want to jump in now before our last speaker, you go right ahead.
No, I just wanted to say hi, guys. Christy, unfortunately, I had another meeting, so I couldn't be here for the whole thing, and I wasn't quite sure if I was going to make it at all. So I had Christy talk to you a little bit about counseling and psychological services, which is where I work. So I'm the registered psychologist here at Grenfell. So somebody had asked about the coping methods and where do you need help. So absolutely, give Christy a call. As I'm sure you heard, she was fantastic. She's super friendly, very easy to talk to on the phone. I know sometimes that's intimidating for people, but please just give her a call. It's the same number as Health Services, which is already up there on the chat, 637-7919. And you can book an appointment with either me, the psychologist, or with Jennifer Broadbent, who is our counselor. So yeah, just wanted to say hi, welcome to Grenfell. Great to have you here. Nice to see you virtually. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you, Veronica. And for our last presenter, we have Nancy Janes from ITS.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nancy, and I'm the IT consultant here with Information Technology Services at Grenfell Campus. My primary role is with the department, is operating the service desk and print services. So you may be wondering a little bit more about ITS, so I'm just going to share this presentation with you. Just give me a moment. Okay, so what is Grenfell ITS? Well, ITS stands for Information Technology Services. So Grenfell ITS provides and supports all computing, communication, and multimedia technology services on campus. So we provide support to all students, schools, and departments. We maintain the equipment in all offices, labs, and public areas on campus. We provide multimedia classroom support, so boardrooms, lecture capture, and media production. We support and provide the emergency notification system, exterior emergency phones, and 911. We provide wired and wireless network and internet connectivity, print services, and as well, we have a single sign-on here at Grenfell, so access to all of our Grenfell computing services. You would use your Grenfell username and password. So for data storage on campus and remote access, for printing on campus, and to log into My Grenfell, so that's my.grenfell.mun.ca, and there you will have access to a variety of campus services and course information, as well as Microsoft Office 365. That's a cloud-based service where you would receive your Grenfell email, OneDrive, access to Office applications, and as well as Teams. So you would use your Grenfell credentials to access that service. Our Grenfell, our website is www.grenfell.mun.ca and /ITS, or you can also go to our homepage, highlight departments, and then click Information Technology Services. So with Grenfell ITS and remote support, ITS remote support information can be found by selecting the link on the left column of the ITS website. Again, it's www.grenfell.mun.ca /ITS. So some important links for remote service is My Grenfell, so it links us to campus services and ITS remote applications. And you would log in with your Grenfell credentials to have access to those services. Office 365, again, with your Grenfell email, Microsoft Office web apps, and to download Microsoft Office for free on up to 5 devices. MyMun is the portal for Memorial University services. There you would log in with your Memorial credentials. And you would also have access to the university software that's available, such as Minitab, SPSS, and ArcGIS. And online learning, which is Brightspace. So that's access to your online courses, and you would log in there with your MUN credentials. So the ITS Service Desk, frontline support for inquiries and assistance, is available by contacting Grenfell ITS Service Desk. The Service Desk is the first point of contact for any questions or issues relating to computers, printers, multimedia, telecommunication, and specialized printing. ITS Grenfell Campus utilizes a ticketing system to monitor, track, prioritize IT-related issues and projects, so it is important to submit a ticket for all support requests. So to submit a ticket, you can go to our website at www.grenfell.mun.ca/ITS and click Enter Service Desk Ticket. You can also email its@grenfell.mun.ca detailing your request for support, or you can give us a call at 639-2049 and leave a detailed message there because it will automatically generate a ticket. So some important information about your accounts. So by now, you should have received your Grenfell account, and your Grenfell account information has been sent to your @MUN email account. So if you don't have your Grenfell account, just log into your MUN account and check for any email from ITS notices. And so you must note that you have 2 accounts which provide access to the following services. So your Grenfell will give you access to lab, library, and public computers, to My Grenfell, to the Xerox units for printing and duplicating on campus, to your Grenfell email, to Office 365 to download Microsoft Office for free on your devices, Printer On, which is a mobile print service offered here on campus, and remote access to Grenfell applications, including network storage, your P drive. Your MUN account will give you access to your Brightspace, which is your online learning, to My MUN portal, to the library website, and for your MUN email. So if you've got any questions, we can help answer them. Again, our contact information is www.grenfell.mun.ca/ITS to visit our website for any questions you may have, and also email its@grenfell.mun.ca, or you can give us a call at 709-639-2049, and one of our team members will be glad to help you out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. Nancy, you have one more task to do today, as I mentioned to you yesterday. We have 44 participants on board with us today. Please pick a number between 1 and 44, and we'll give that person the Chromebook and case.
Okay, how does lucky number 24 sound?
24, okay, now hang on, now I got to count down to 24, hang on. Hang on, everything is frozen here. Just give me 1 second. Drum roll, please. Number 24 is Madison. They're just signed in as Madison. So could you go on to the chat and give us the contact information, either an email or a phone number, so I can contact you, Madison? Now, there's a couple of Madisons there, but this one's logged in just as Madison. I'll give her a few minutes to do that. Just a couple of things now to clue up. A couple of things to remind you of going on in the next couple of days. Janice mentioned the International Student Services session tomorrow at 12:30. Also tomorrow at 7 p.m. tomorrow night is the Family Orientation Last Minute Check-In. That's with the deans of the schools and the nursing school, and also Brightspace. Next Tuesday, we have 2 important events. Is the Welcome to Grenfell orientation start off. followed by the academic advising session. And then next Wednesday at 2 p.m., we have the beginner yoga and meditation, which is on the schedule. And there's a link there to pre-register. And when you pre-register, we'll be sending you the link and password. So that's just a couple of events to keep in mind. We'll keep it open now for a few minutes for anybody with any questions or anything. And thank you all to the presenters. Thank you very much.
Keep a gap while we're waiting on questions, because I'm not sure if the chat is going to be a part of the recording. I'm assuming it is, but in the event that it's not, I'm just putting on the Grenville Campus incoming class, like all the links that were talked about. So just make sure I have them all. And that's why if I seem half distracted, I'm so sorry. So we've got student services at grenfell.mun.ca, and that will cover things like ACEs, getting tutoring, getting help. Oh, sorry, I just want to make sure what the question, getting like help with financial needs for students, etc. So that would be student services. Then there's the Learning Center Facebook, which I've added a link there, although I think most students know that one. For the library, that would be the library at grenfell.mun.ca or crose@grenfell.mun.ca. And that'd be everything to do with library assistance. In addition to that, I added in the campus card link website thing for people to go look for that. After that, there was the health services at grenfell.mun.ca, and that would be for physical or mental well-being in the on-campus clinic. You can also contact 637-7919. And I believe there was like a website for that as well, which I've linked into the Facebook post I'm making now as well. For sexual harassment, that would just be AH-CURNEW, that's CURNEW at mun.ca. And there's also the website link for that. So I've added those two in for the sexual harassment office. For more mental health supports. Yep, I believe I've got that one in. Is there another email for the sexual harassment office, or is it just AH-CURNEW? I'm not sure if I missed that one.
I think it's just sexual harassment at mun.ca. They have a local address here for the person, Debbie Lindahl, here in Corner Brook, but they also have an address for their office in St. John's, and there's phone numbers for both of them. There's a local Corner Brook 637 number for the Corner Brook office as well.
Okay, I'll get
them on.
Thank you. And before I continue on, there is a question from Mustafa. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. And they are wondering, will there be any job openings for international students? So I suppose that would be with Jennifer. Do you have any comment on that?
I am not sure. I know for an international student to have a job posting, to accept a job in Canada, they need to have a social insurance number, I believe. And I think there is a session about that coming up in a few weeks that Janice is organizing about getting your SIN number. So you need to have that before you can accept a job in Canada. Unfortunately, if you won't be in Canada during the session, you won't be able to accept a job here. And the Janice is nodding, which means I'm telling all the right things. So yeah, that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, and it is part of the orientation schedule that there will be a Service Canada information session on September 23rd at 3:30, where students can learn about if they can get a SIN and how they can get a SIN number.
Sorry if you hear my typing. I'm just making sure I got that down. September 23rd at 3:30 for students looking for a SIN number, international only. International only. Boop. That is a capital N. That's fine. The last two emails also, just to make sure I've got everything. There is B. Elliott at grenfell.mun.ca, but that's more so to do with specifically ACEs and disability. For careers, there's J. Buxton at grenfell.mun.ca. And I think there's, what do I have here? My writing is awful. CAMEES. Oh, careers. Wow, my writing's bad. There's also careers at grenfell.mun.ca for people looking for careers.
It's career link at grenfell.mun.ca.
Career link, LINK?
Yep.
At Grenfell. All right, perfect. And this is why we got to check this out and make sure. Ooh, academic advising. Thank you so much, Shauna. So that's there. And then the other one I have is international@granville.mun.ca, and that's for all international needs. Is everything correct? And is there anything exchange to? Exchange to? Plus exchange. All right. So I
Did you
think
mention ITS? Sorry.
ITS. Oh no, right. I have that written down. I don't have that written down. I'm going to put that in now. ITS
Okay.
at
So
Granville. Thank you so much. This is
You're
what I want to
welcome.
make sure.
Yeah.
And Lorna says virtual family orientation check-in is tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. She says to join us to connect with some of the deans and resource people. And make sure to tell your parents and or guardians and just your family in general, I suppose, if anybody's curious about your university life. And exchange programs at Granville.mun. Thank you so much. Exchange. You know what? I'm just going to hope that the chat doesn't disappear so long as I don't leave. So, because this paper is very small and I'm running out of space and my writing's bad. So yeah, I just want to make sure if there's any other links that I should be concerned about, just put them in the chat and I'll try to add that to the Facebook post.
Okay, any other last minute comments or questions or anything from the panelists? Okay, well, I'd like to thank everybody for attending and presenting. It has been a great afternoon. Thank you very much. And this session will be, was taped, is taped, and will be on either the YouTube channel or the Brightspace Grenfell Experience link. Okay, if there's anything from anybody else, or I guess we're done. Thank you very much. Great session, folks. Thank you very much.